Nobody tells you what it actually feels like. You hear the term anxious attachment. You read the definition. You understand it intellectually. But nobody describes the inside of it, what it actually feels like to live there. So that's what this is. Not a clinical breakdown. Not a framework. Just an honest description of what it's like to be the anxious one in a relationship. And if this is you, I want you to know something before we start. This isn't a character flaw. It isn't weakness. It's a pattern that made complete sense given what you learned about connection early in your life. But it costs you. And you probably already know that. So let's talk about what it actually feels like. The first thing is the waiting. Not just waiting for a text back. Waiting for the confirmation that things are okay. Because when things go quiet, even for a normal amount of time, something in you shifts. It's not dramatic at first. It's subtle. A small tightening. A slight increase in alertness. You check your phone, not because you expected a message, but because you needed to confirm there wasn't one. And then the interpreting starts. Was the last thing you said okay? Did something shift? Are they pulling away? Or are you reading into it again? And that question, are you reading into it again, is one of the most exhausting parts of this. Because you've been told enough times that you're too much, too sensitive, too needy, that you've started to police yourself before anyone else can. You second guess your own read on things. You talk yourself out of what you felt before you even let yourself fully feel it. And the waiting continues. Not just for the message, but for permission to relax. The second thing is what happens when they do pull back. Not disappear, just pull back slightly, become a little less available, a little more distracted. For most people, that might register as they're probably just busy. But for you, it lands differently. Something activates. Your body responds before your mind catches up. There's an urgency that doesn't match the situation. A need to close the distance, to reach out, to say something that brings them back. And you might know, intellectually, that reaching out from this place isn't going to help. But the activation is so strong that doing nothing feels almost physically impossible. So you reach out, and then you wait again. And depending on how they respond, or don't, the cycle continues. What most people don't understand is that this isn't about being clingy or not having your own life. It's about what distance means to your nervous system. For someone who grew up with consistent, reliable connection, distance is just distance, temporary, neutral, fine. But for someone who learned early that distance could mean something was wrong, that love was inconsistent, that connection could disappear without warning, distance became a signal, a threat, something to respond to immediately. Your nervous system learned that lesson well. It's still running that same program. The third thing is the aftermath. After the activation passes, after the distance closes, after things feel okay again, there's often a quiet shame. Not because anything bad happened, but because you know how you responded. You felt the urgency. You acted on it. And now, in the calm, you can see it clearly. And that's when the story starts. Why am I like this? Why can't I just relax? Why do I always do this? And that story is often crueler than anything the other person said or did. Because you're not just dealing with the anxiety of the relationship, you're also dealing with the judgment you have about the anxiety. And that's the part that keeps people stuck longer than almost anything else. Not the pattern itself, but the shame about the pattern. The belief that being this way means something is fundamentally wrong with you. It doesn't. It means you learned something in an environment that taught it to you. And learning is not the same as being broken. The pattern makes sense. It just doesn't serve you anymore. And the fact that you can see it, that you're here watching this, trying to understand it, that's not nothing. That's actually where things start to shift. Not when you stop feeling it, but when you stop making it mean something is wrong with you for feeling it. If this resonated, and you want a space where you can explore what this actually looks like in your life, with people who understand it from the inside, that's exactly what Transcendental Mentorship is for. It's a free community for people who are already doing this kind of reflection, but need somewhere for it to actually land. Link is in the description. Deeper understanding, real change.